where it's sandwiched between Luke Bryan and Dirk Bentley, and you wouldn't know the difference, man. Like it's that high quality of a song. And I told him that. I'm like, dude, I'm like,
private conversation. Welcome YouTube
Yeah.
and Twitchers. Keep going.
welcome YouTube and Twitchers. Talking about Dave Nudo and his song "The Lord of the Devil." If you don't know who Dave Nudo is, he was on our show. Really cool guy.
If you don't
No
know who
reason
Dave
to-
Nudo is, how dare you?
Yeah, and
Google him right now.
right, and there's no reason this guy's not charting right now with the music he writes. It's insane that he's not, because it's just he's that good of an artist and that good of a songwriter. And they're actually in the studio today because of the show he was on with us, where I found that song and I picked it because of the name of the song, "The Lord of the Devil," and have loved it so much that I started poking at his management company, like, you guys need to release this shit. They can't release it yet because it's on a different management label, whatever. So they're re-recording it actually today, February 17th. So they can re-release it and launch it. And I'm telling you, you heard it here first when they first came on the show. Mike and I both agreed this song's a hit. Why this song is not played on the radio right now is beyond me, because I have a mix. I don't know if you heard it with the music going, but I have a mix. And he's sandwiched between Luke Bryan and Dirk Bentley. And it flowed. There was yeah.
He is in the middle of my chaos of music, which could be Prince one song, could be Michael Jackson the next, could be Slayer the next, then it
Right.
could be Dave Nudo,
Yeah.
and he rolls right along. When
He
his
does.
song comes on, man, and I'm not saying this because now he's a friend of ours. I'm saying
no.
it because I'm a musician and I'm a lover of music, and that
Yep.
song makes me want to turn the volume up.
It does.
Tomorrow every
It
time.
does. Absolutely.
So
he
I
came
can't
on.
wait to hear the new version.
So I in my truck I have 4,600 songs on that iPod Shuffle, iPod, whatever the fuck you call it. And every now and then I'll just hit all songs and hit play shuffle, and I'll see how long it takes me to get through them all.
I have 19,000 in my main.
Yes, yeah. I had more, but then I plugged my iPad Pod, whatever it is, thing into my Mac, and it wiped it all out. I'm like,
Ugh.
so
I want to cry.
it does, because I had every CD I ever owned on that. I had all the Alter Bridge bootlegs. I had all the Creed bootlegs. I had all the Mother Love Bones. I mean, every single CD, because I had a regular desktop.
So now that you bring that up, I was watching. It used to be called Headbangers Ball, whatever they
Yes.
call it on MTV now. I was, just flipping through the channels on Saturday night,
Yeah.
and The Last Time by Badlands came on.
Oh,
And I almost cried, dude, because I don't care about any of those CDs. I'm not saying that I'm sorry I bought them. I
Right.
can listen to that music now because of modern technology, right?
yeah, yeah.
But what breaks your heart are the ones that you forgot about that are now out of print that you can't get
Right.
anywhere. You can't stream them on Spotify,
Right.
Apple. I don't know if you know the story behind Badlands, but Ray Gillian, who used to sing with Black Sabbath, was
Yep.
his claim to fame for a short
Yep.
time.
Yep.
He was the singer of Badlands, and he contracted AIDS,
Oh.
and he didn't tell anyone and kept
Oh.
going around sleeping with all those women. So the record company shelved both of those albums, which fucked Jake E. Lee and Greg Chasen and Eric Singer out of
Millions.
untold royalties
Wow.
due to this guy's assholishness.
That's terrible, man.
Because the families of all those women were
Yeah.
like, if you continue to profit off this, we're going to sue you for the profits, and rightfully so, right?
Well, what they should have done is let them continue releasing it and waited about, 5 years and then sued them, because then they would have got money.
Right. Right. That's the
Because,
story
yeah,
behind that.
wow,
is
that
they
sucks.
instantly shelved both those albums. But I had
Well-
both those CDs, and if
Yeah.
anybody has them, crank them up.
Yeah.
If you don't, if you've never heard the Badlands music, it's some of the best just straight ahead rock and roll I've ever
Yeah.
heard in my life.
Yeah.
Jakey Lee was a monster. Still is.
One artist that you cannot get anywhere is Garth Brooks. I had every Garth Brooks that known to man because I liked Garth Brooks. And
Streaming, you mean?
You can't. No.
No.
No. Nope.
Certain
he owns.
artists have taken all their music off of streaming.
Well, he owns it all. He owns the rights to everything. That's why he made the statement in his heyday that he has more money that his grandchildren's grandchildren will never be able to spend. And it's because he owns the rights to his music and the production
Absolutely.
of his music and the distribution of his music. So You can't you can search Apple iTunes for Garth Brooks, and I did. I'm like, oh sweet, he's on here, and I downloaded it, and it ended up being a fucking cover album tribute to him, and it sucked.
Really?
It sucked. It sucked. You can't anywhere. Nikki loves Garth Brooks, so that's another one of those things. Like when we go dancing on Saturday nights at Denim and Diamonds, when Garth Brooks comes on, you're just on the dance floor because he's got such a high tempo beat, and we can do the crazy country swing shit that's kind of fast paced.
There is no doubt that his band and those songs, if you don't admit that they make you want to move,
Yep.
you're either just being an asshole or you're
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
call
come
it.
on,
Yeah.
Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
He didn't sell a gazillion records, and he doesn't sell out everywhere he
Every
plays
time.
by accident, right? I
Nope.
hate when people say somebody like that sucks. Like,
Yeah. It's like
Well-
Nickelback sucks. Yeah, okay, but they sell it every time they play, and you sing along the
Exactly.
entire. Garth Brooks could just start the first couple notes of the song and stand there, and everybody would sing it back to him if you
the
let him.
entire song.
Right.
Yep.
The entire show. The entire show. We've seen him twice. We saw him.
Everybody knows
Yeah.
every word to every one of those
Yeah.
songs. There's no
Yeah,
question.
but we saw him twice when he was doing a 2-night shows. He came through Phoenix and did 2-night shows. We caught the later show. He had an hour break between shows and still played for 3 hours, and still nailed it.
That's why I
just
went back to
fucking
see
nailed it.
Steve Miller 9 more
Yeah.
times after I saw him the first time because it was just like a big party.
Yeah,
Most of the time, the crowd was louder than the band
yeah,
because once again, everybody knows every word to every one of those songs.
yep. Hey, and by the way, we are Chris and Mike of the Chris and Mike Show. Portion of the show is brought to you by Riverside FM, the one and only choice for podcasting platforms. And we're on Twitch, YouTube, and now streaming live on our website at chrisandmikeshow.com. So if you happen to be there, you can just click the website and boom, there we are. Hello, boys and girls. Hello.
Leave us a review. We need more
Leave us a review.
reviews.
We love reviews. So Mike had sent me this thing. This is pretty cool. We're going to go over this. It's called Facts That Sound Fake but are 100% true. The first one, which makes sense, your brain cannot feel pain.
Which is why you can have brain surgery while you're awake.
Correct. This one I didn't know. Bananas are berries and strawberries are not.
I didn't know that either. I'm
I
sure I've
didn't
been
know
told
that.
that a time or two, but I don't remember. When I
So,
read it,
but-
I was like, I
yeah.
didn't know that.
So is it because bananas grow in a tree and strawberries grow on a vine?
Yep,
Okay.
correct.
This one's interesting. Water can boil and freeze at the same time.
And only in this part of the country would you understand that.
Okay.
So you can take a boiling pot of water when it's
Right.
below zero and
Yeah.
throw it in the air and it freezes instantly.
Dude, can you do that one day and film it? Because that would be cool.
The next time it's 20 below, the next time you hear me complain, and it probably won't be this year, but
Okay. Okay.
when I'm complaining about it being like polar-like or the polar vortex, that's when
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Okay, cool.
It's got to be below zero. But yeah, you
Okay,
can
cool.
take a boiling pot of water out
Okay.
there and throw it in the air, and it'll freeze instantly.
Yeah.
People do it
Maybe
all the
throw
time
maybe
around
maybe
here.
throw some food coloring in it so you can see it.
That'd be
a little
awesome.
like blue food coloring. So then it goes in the air and it's blue and it's just that would be
like
be
it.
badass.
We'll do it.
This one's cool too because skeletons like they purge their skin. Right?
I did
don't know
not
how-
know this at all.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I don't know how often snakes purge their skin. But you know how they do that? You find skin in the desert, right?
Yeah, they molt.
Yeah, they molt like chickens molt too. Like we know that because we have chickens. You get a new skeleton every 10 years. Now, what's fucked up about that is my skeleton should then correct itself, right? You would think it would correct that vertebrae and your vertebrae. You think it would correct it because if it's a new skeleton every 10 years,
I
somewhere
got the answer
between.
to your question.
Okay, cool.
Our problem is not our bones. It's the
Oh.
discs between our bones that used to be fluid that kept those
Right.
bones from touching each other.
Right.
So our bones right now are saying, Chris Dunham, I am not your problem.
I'm not sure.
That stupid fluid, that little pillow-like thing that keeps the bones from touching each other,
Yeah.
yours and mine and my mom's is gone.
Yeah. That sucks.
That's the pain, is your bone on bone.
Yeah. Now I've heard
Snakes
stem
typically
cells-
shed their skin about 4 to 12 times per year, sir.
Oh, damn. Okay. And so we get new skeletons every 10 years. And I've heard before that your brain evolves every 7 years up to the age of 28. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's something I've
Your
was told.
frontal cortex is not fully formed until you're
Okay.
25 years of age.
Oh. Okay,
That's
there
a
you go.
fact.
I knew it was something to that effect. I knew it.
The
Yeah, I
other
knew it was
thing
something to that
is-
effect.
Every cell in your so now that's really cool. So you get a new skeleton somehow every
Right.
10 years.
Right.
Every cell in your body replicates every 7 years. So theoretically,
Oh.
you're a brand new person every 10 years. Every 7 years,
interesting.
all your cells have replicated into new ones. And every
Yeah.
10 years, your skeleton is supposedly a new one. I'm still not sure. That blows my mind.
It does. It's very mind blowing. Okay, so then we have this one. I knew honey never expires. Now, when you buy honey, you can
love
tell
honey.
if you can tell if they put something in the honey because it hardens, but it never expires. Like true raw honey just stays raw.
Yes, that's what I buy.
Right. We thought we bought that from this dude down the street, but we put it in a little honey jar. You remember the movie True Romance
Oh, absolutely. Great
when
movie.
Brad Pitt was smoking the honey bear bong?
Yep.
Okay. So we don't know what's in that honey bear jar, but it makes the honey we poured into that solid. It's weird. So it's irritating.
Do you know how to?
So,
I'm not sure about that.
yeah.
So you put it in a pan
Yeah.
and you heat it slowly
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
it comes. You just keep stirring it until it comes back to what the consistency
Right.
it was. So the guy
then-
that I
yeah.
buy my honey from was my buddy that I told you unfortunately
Right.
just passed away.
Passed away. Yeah.
He said that that's how that is when they scrape it off the hive. So what you're looking at, the bad stuff, what we consider the bad stuff,
Yeah.
is what it looks like to the beekeeper before they make it look like it does. They heat it
Oh,
just
okay.
like I just told you to, which
Okay.
is what he told me to. Because
Yeah.
if you keep it long enough
Yeah.
and there's not enough in the jar, or you expose it to different temperatures or light, like
Okay.
I keep mine in the dark, which helps
So do I. Yeah.
keep it that way, for
Yeah.
a long time. But I've done the stovetop method where you got to heat it slowly and you have to keep stirring it.
Okay.
And it'll eventually look just like it did the day you got it.
Right on. Good to know.
Yeah.
Honey facts from Mike Michaels, ladies and gentlemen.
I love my honey and my coffee, man.
Yeah, I do too, man.
You do too.
Yep. You cannot hum while holding your nose.
And both of us tried it.
A little bit, but not really. Your DNA can stretch to Pluto and back.
That fascinated me
That is very fascinating.
because Pluto's a
I wanna
long
know-
ways away.
I want to know who figured that out. What science sat there one day and was like, you know what, dear, I'm going to figure out how I can spread DNA how far.
Somebody like Mark Winter's brain
Yeah.
was able to compute that.
Yeah,
Yes.
mathematical. The Eiffel Tower grows taller. The Eiffel Tower grows taller in the summer. Now, why is that?
Because the metal expands.
Oh, okay. Because I know the Leaning Tower of Pisa sinks every year, but I didn't know the Eiffel Tower grows taller in the summer. Now, for those of you kids that are in the swing lifestyle, you'll know the other definition of the Eiffel Tower. Just,
That's like my
That's-
front door opens
yeah.
nice and easy right now.
Yeah,
I'll bail you out of this one.
Okay.
But come summertime, it's
Yeah.
harder than hell to open and shut because it
Yeah.
swells, being wood.
Gotcha. Yep. There you go. Humans glow in the. What? Say again.
He said wood. I was
Yeah,
doing my
wood.
Beavis and Butthead.
I know. I gotcha. Humans glow in the dark, but too dim to see.
I didn't know that either.
But we do glow in the dark. That's interesting. This one I kind of knew because you watch enough medical dramas and TV shows and science things. Your heart can beat outside your body. So when they do open heart surgery, I've seen where
Yeah,
they pick
where
up
they-
the heart and it's still beating.
Yep.
I thought this was more. You blink 15 to 20 times a minute. I really thought you blink a lot more than that. I was surprised at that low number.
The only reason that I wasn't is because I've worn contacts for so many years.
So
and
yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, don't you become hyper aware of when you're not blinking enough because your eyes start drying out?
No, my eyes dry. Arizona sucks for contacts.
Well,
man.
that's true. Agreed.
It's so bad for contacts. I got monthly contacts, and you're supposed to wear them a month. And there's some pairs I go through in a week, like a week, and I clean them. I'm like, fuck.
It's just too dry. There's no humidity. I remember.
It sucks. It sucks. You've been aging since day one, which I thought you kind of aged since day zero. Like as soon as you popped your head out, you start aging.
So the only part of that, this is how my stupid brain works. The only part
Okay.
of that that I disagree with is you've actually been aging since
Oh,
the sperm
conception.
hit the egg.
Since conception. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. I
It's
think
the
that's a
same
more
set
accurate.
of cells that was
Sure.
in that little embryo
Yeah.
that you are today.
Yeah. Truth.
That's a fact.
That is a fact. That is a fact, Jack. That's a fact, Jack. So this other fun thing, interesting food facts.
But maybe that's what they mean by day number one. Read that statement
Maybe.
again.
Right? Why? It's
You-
just you've
you've
been,
been
you've been
aging
aging
since
since day one.
Okay. So we can say day one is that conception.
That's what I would say.
All right.
Excuse me. So interesting food facts. Food. This I found these interesting too. So nice job finding these, Michael. White chocolate isn't technically chocolate because it contains no cocoa solids.
I think Carrie might have told me that, but she would have been the only one because she makes a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know this one either. Farm raised salmon is naturally gray. It's dyed pink to make it look real.
I did not know that.
So you're not eating salmon. You're eating
You
a gray
are.
fish. You're eating a gray fish that tastes like salmon, and they dye it to make it look like salmon.
True.
Wrap your head around that.
No, I agree with that statement. I was like, I'm not sure. I agree with that. Yep.
Yeah, I'm saving number 3 for last because it's more exciting for me. The stickers on fruit are made of edible paper and food grade glue.
And I always wondered that.
So you can eat that sticker on your apple.
Yep.
I'm not going to eat the sticker on the apple because you know why? Because whoever put that sticker on the apple probably has a dirty hand, which is why I peel that shit off and wash the apple.
So can I put your mind at ease?
Yes, please.
No human ever touched that sticker. It was
Really?
no, it was a machine at high speed, just going ding 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 ding
Wow.
ding ding. Oh yeah.
Okay.
So,
I stand
I'm
corrected.
still not eating the sticker. but
No.
I don't think you have to worry about somebody putting their
I
greasy paws
may
on it.
I may take the sticker off my next apple and put it on my tongue and see if it acts like nutmeg, which is a hallucinogen that if you eat more than 2 teaspoons full at once, you're going to go tripping.
But from what I read in the comments, don't do it because apparently it'll give you the worst headache you've ever had in your life. So I don't think that's worth
And
it.
do you really want to brag about, hey man, I'm tripping on nutmeg?
The only thing I can say is your breath would smell incredible.
You know what would be funny is if Liquid Sin or Listen to Your Sin was based on a nutmeg trip, and I just never told you that.
I think that should be the new story. Just make it up.
And then the one I say for last, because I think this is fascinating, peanut butter can be turned into diamonds under high pressure laboratory settings.
Okay, so I wonder now that you say that, and I've heard it for the third time, is that how we're making lab grown diamonds?
It's quite possible.
Are we just sacrificing peanut butter at an alarming rate?
It's quite possible. Now, does that mean it has to be like Jiffy, or can it be the powder peanut butter? Because I have the PB supplement, PB powder, because
Does
it's
crunchy make a better diamond than smooth?
right. Maybe Crunchy has more. You know, we should get Nate Palmer back on, the nutritionalist, because he's the one that told us that peanut butter is actually not protein; it's fat.
Yes.
And we could blow his mind. Hey, Nate, if you're out there, peanut butter can be made into a diamond. So, if you eat peanut butter, does that mean you're shitting diamonds? Sorry,
No,
Had to-
don't ever be sorry. That was
to go there.
hilarious.
I had to go there.
Oh, here. Read this one. This is
Okay.
great.
Okay. Why he's sending me that, boys and girls. We just had almost 21,000 views on Instagram in the last 30 days, so thank you very much for
And
that.
25,000 on Facebook. So that's
Thank you, thank
50,000 between the two. Thank you very much. That's awesome.
I wonder what TikTok's doing, because I haven't been. I just post on TikTok. I don't actually go look at it.
I go
Nothing's arrived.
check
yet,
out what
Mike.
you've been posting, but
It's consistently, yeah.
it's moving up there.
Okay.
It takes time, just like.
Yeah. Whatever you sent me, it hasn't come through yet.
Speaking of which, we're on Instagram. We could use some help there.
We are on Instagram.
And people seem to
Instagram.
love
I've seen
Instagram.
Instagram. guys had some nice stuff lately, man. Nice numbers popping.
Yeah, the 489 followers we have there, they're hyper loyal. So you guys rock.
Yeah. I'm going on their Instagram. I'm gonna go check out the Instagram right now. Oh, come on.
I think one of the Mark Winters was right around 7,000 views.
Wow.
People like that one.
Mark
about the
Winters was. I
polyglot.
can't wait to have him back, dude. That dude was so.
Well, people
interesting.
didn't know what a polyglot was, just like you and I
No.
didn't, and that really attracted a lot of attention.
It
That was big
attracted a
title.
ton of people, man. It attracted a ton of people.
As
for
soon as
sure.
I saw that short, I was like, oh yeah, everybody needs to know what this is. I had no idea. There was
Right.
one naysayer. We like to call out the naysayers on TikTok that said potential for things that didn't happen in blue and things that didn't happen in yellow. So
Okay.
he didn't believe that that happened, but you obviously didn't listen to that episode because Mark Winters is a super genius. So I'm sure his
He's-
siblings are super geniuses as
He is
well.
a super genius. Super genius.
The guy does calculus for fun. So
Mhm.
go listen to that episode. He's a musician now. Fascinating guy. I'm with Chris. I can't wait to talk to him again.
Yeah. Yeah. Super cool guy too. He's gonna be in Bisbee, Arizona too in March, doing a concert with Positive Vibes. And I was like, oh, Mark, I guess it's time to go to Bisbee. He's like, come down, man. Get some positive vibes, bro. So there's
And you
there's the Instagram page right there. That's the Chris and Mike show. Okay. 273 posts, which is pretty cool. I'm following it, so I can't see the back end data like Mike can, but there's, oh, wait, right there? Yeah, there's all the stuff. Where's the polyglot guy? Where's the polyglot guy? Matt Farrell, funny guy, just had him on. I told Nikki this story
Matt's awesome.
about him and his wife and, date night in a hotel. So
because-
Apache, huh?
Because we like to talk about our guests like that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give Matt a huge compliment that I gave him to a guy I work with today.
Yeah.
I am way more critical of comedians than I am of even musicians.
Yeah.
And the way that I figured this out is I was looking for a good comedy stand-up on Netflix the other day,
Yeah.
and I went through 3 of them. I made it 3.5 minutes into the first guy. I made it 5 minutes into the second guy, and I made
Wow.
it 2 minutes into the third guy. You better be funny. And
Yeah.
Matt is a super funny guy. It's his timing and his delivery for sure, but it's also the way he tells the story.
Storytelling. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have
'Cause-
to do it
'cause-
without being vulgar, and somehow he can tell those stories without offending people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I've always thought about comedy because
You
some
would
of
have
the
made a
jobs
good stand-up comic. For
some of
sure.
the jobs I have, like I was thinking about this one. So when I worked at the Mark Center, okay, which is a place where you have people that are our age that are we called them mentally handicapped. I know it's not politically correct. We called them our clients, right? But they were, 40 plus
That
years
is what
old.
we called him at the time, though, for sure.
Yeah. Mentally, they were 7 years old. Okay. First introduction to this job. I show up at 7:00 in the morning. The vans are coming in. All the group homes had Astro vans. So this Astro van pulls up. Chris, they say, Chris, that's your group home. I'm like, okay. So I go open the door. First time meeting these 4 adults, right? And I can probably say their name because I won't say their last name. So Brady no longer with us. So he gets out of the van. Kind of a big guy, but not tall. Like, there's always disheveled, no matter what you did. He always had a shoe untied. He always just had chaos about him. But Super Bowl lovable teddy bear until that moment, that he's not. Like, I saw this dude rip out a water heater from the ground in the rec room, like legit put his hands around this water heater and lifted it up. He was pissed.
Damn.
Okay. So that was Brady. Fun loving, loved, stuck in 7-year-old mindset, loved everything Disneyland, everything Jack and the Beanstalk. I would do his voice, but I won't because I could do his voice out of love, but I won't do his voice on this. Rick, super nice guy, about 6'6", lanky, thin. His father was a football coach, salt of the earth family, like the super, super nice family. His mom picked him up every Sunday. He passed away during my tenure there too, which was a drag. He had a heart attack and passed. Mike, we had this guy named Jesse, but then he had some issues. We couldn't keep him, so he had this guy Mike, and Mike was kind of a short, thin guy that was a little bit of a hoarder and loved smoking his cigarettes, and that was his thing. He'd have this big kind of Circle
What are you
K
trying to
coffee
say?
mug type thirst buster thing, and he smoked cigarettes, right? That was his thing, you know. And then I'm gonna say Wes. So Wes, redhead, beard, first introduction, first day. I roll up, van comes up, blue Astro van. Brady comes out, hey, you know, engaged, you know, cool, okay, you're Chris Dunham, I'm like, yeah, I'm Chris Dunham, you know. Rick comes out, hey, really loud, boisterous, in your face talking, you know, excited. Yeah, I'll just go inside. So he goes inside. You know, Mike comes out, how you doing? How you doing? You know, really just mellow, like, how you doing, man? Trying to be cool, you know. So Wes is in the back of this Astro van. It's two seats, right? He's in the back of the Astro van. I said, come on, Wes. Looks at me. Can I have my lunchbox? I'm like, well, yeah, you can have your lunchbox. You got to have your lunchbox for lunch, man. So come on, let's go. Can I have my lunchbox? Yes, Wes, you can have your lunchbox. You can have your lunchbox. I don't know, 30 seconds go by. He's not moving. Can I have my lunchbox? Yes, you can have your lunchbox. And I'm looking around. There's no other staff. So I'm like, okay. So I get in the van. I get in the seat in front of him, and I'm like, we need to go. You know, we need to go. The driver of the van who was dropping him off from the group home took their folders inside with meds and stuff. It was a Monday, so you bring your meds, all that kind of jazz. So he's not anywhere around. I'm in this van now with Wes, and I'm sitting in the middle row, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, dude, we got to go. And he's like, can I have my lunchbox? I'm like, so I look over the seat, and on his hand, white knuckles, he's got his lunchbox. It's green. It's a green Igloo lunchbox. It's square, and he's holding his lunchbox like this. Can I have a lunchbox? I'm like, yes, you can have your lunchbox. You have it right there. Let's go. and he's not moving. I was like, somehow my name came up. He's like, you're Chris Dunham guy? I'm like, yes, everything was Chris Dunham guy. He had that guy or girl. If you were a girl, it'd be like Mama K girl. Okay. So I'm Chris Dunham guy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm Chris Dunham guy. Okay. He's like, oh, you're Chris Dunham guy? And he starts laughing. I'm like, yeah, I'm Chris Dunham guy. And it's like, can we get out of the vans? Please, we need to go inside. Can I have my lunchbox? Again, first day in this world, okay? They weren't even going to hire me because I was only 20 years old, and you had to be 21 to work there because they wanted you to be a driver, and you couldn't be a driver unless you were 21. But because I had experience with Special Olympics, they hired me. Kim Stevenson, thank you. So I decide, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the van. I'm going to go to the back of the van, open the Astro doors, back doors, right? And I'm going to come up behind him, and I'm going to gently kind of nudge him out of the van. Okay, so that works. Can I have my lunchbox? Yes, you can have the lunchbox. Well, I need you to get out of the van. So we're moving him out of the van. Finally, the morning staff comes. His name was Chris too. He's like, what are you doing, Wes? Just get out of the van, man. And has the authority. So Wes gets out of the van. So the guy's like, oh, you're Chris? I was like, yeah, I'm Chris too. He's in West. Well, that's Chris Dunham guy. That's Chris Somas guy. Okay. I'm like, cool. We're all guys. We're all both named same name. Same name. It's a beautiful thing. Can we go inside? So Chris, the driver, shuts the van, goes around, drives away. And as I turn around, Wes decides not to follow the sidewalk, dedicated sidewalk to the back entrance of the day center, we called it. He takes off to the grassy field at the edge of the parking lot. So I'm, fuck, man. So I'm following out there. I'm like, Wes, we got it this way. Shit you not. Carrying his lunchbox in his hand, still asking if he can have his lunchbox. I'm like, for the love of God, man, you can have your lunchbox. I'm not going to take your lunchbox. You can have it. I promise. It's your lunchbox. Lunch is in 4 hours, man. It's only 8 o'clock. It's not time for lunch yet, but you can have your lunchbox. I don't care. So I'm following him out to this grassy knoll area, and I forget this guy's name, but kind of a big hefty black man that you don't. If you saw him, walking in an alley, like I'm not going down this alley, just not happening. You could be the nicest guy in the world, but just the way that you look, not going down this alley. So he comes. We're kind of, in a football, when you're trying to chase down a guy, we're both walking like this to pinpoint Wes. And we both get there at the same time. He's like, Wes, what are you doing, man? And he says the guy's name and obviously ends with Guy. And I was like, look, man, I said, this is my first day. I said, this is the first van. He wants his lunchbox. This staff, brilliant, reaches down, grabs the lunchbox with Wes, and then escorts him inside. Why I didn't think of that, I have no idea. We sit down
Oh shit.
in the rec room, right? We sit down. I'm on the, and I have to go through my little paperwork with them, and I'm going my stuff with Brady and with Rick and with Mike. Wes is still holding his lunchbox. He's still looking at me dead straight in the face. Can I have my lunchbox and stuff? And he starts adding stuff. Can I have my lunchbox and stuff? Can I have my lunchbox and stuff and stuff and stuff? I'm reading his thing now and I understand. Oh,
So that's just what he does, right?
he repeats himself.
Sure.
He gets into a mode in his brain where he just asks the
And
same
I am not
question
laughing
over
at
and
him,
over.
ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
no, but it's a
I am
story.
laughing at Chris's. This
the
is
story.
his first day. This
First
is
day.
where he was working when he met me, and he
Yeah.
was in the band. This is what
Yeah.
he was doing. I am totally not laughing.
Yeah. Oh no.
I have.
No.
I,
It's,
it's.
yeah.
I am proud of that fact that I have never made fun of somebody like that. I would never even dream of it. Right?
Absolutely not.
Those
But
people are some of the most lovable,
they are.
interesting, amazing human beings that you will ever meet. You just have to find it in there, right?
So,
And that's the challenge.
yeah. And true to that,
I didn't mean
I
to
spent-
interrupt.
no,
your
you're
story.
good. No,
I
no,
was
no,
laughing.
no.
I just
was-
want everybody to know I
no.
was laughing at you,
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, that was the comedy part of it. So, and true to point, I spent 13 years at the Mark Center.
I choked
I,
on my water.
I stayed in that position for the first 2 years in real estate. I stayed at a group home for 13 years.
You were
I ended
so
up,
good at that job.
Thank you. I ended up
Because
running.
I saw you with them when you had the
Yeah.
band, and you would stop
Yeah,
by
yeah,
and drop
yeah,
something
yeah.
off or whatever.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, "These are the boys."
Yeah, yeah. I ended up overseeing the operation of 5 group homes. So I climbed that corporate ladder, and kid you not, I that instance with Wes was the beginning of what was probably one of the greatest friendships I ever had in my life. Even though it was truly a one-sided friendship, because he and I had conversations that just you could never have, and be that vulnerable and honest with another human being. The cool thing about Wes, there was never any hate. There's never any negative feedback. He would repeat what I would say sometimes. He broke my nose. They were moving group homes. They were moving group homes. And so he would hoard things. His life was in disarray because they were moving houses, and he didn't know how to handle that. So he had grabbed something from this staff member's desk. It was a round little snow globe, and put it in his lunchbox, and I saw him do it. So I went up to him, and by now I'm talking a year at the day program. So he and I were tight now. Like he would have a down moment in the morning. They would tell me, "Oh, he's down," and I'd open that door, and his eyes would light up. I mean, we bonded, right? Yeah, exactly. So I see him put this thing off Barbara's desk in his lunchbox. I'm like, "Wes, man, you can't take stuff." He's got that death grip. I'm like, "Dude, I'm going to open your lunchbox. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to put it back on Barb's desk. It's hers. You can't take that." And he was making a noise that I never heard him make. He was kind of going, not to make fun of him, but the example, Sling Blade, Billy Bob Thornton, just that kind of thing. He had this really weird,
right?
he had this really weird, and I never experienced it before. But I'm thinking that I'm good. We're dialed in. Like we're tight, you know? So one hand opens the lunchbox, the other one reaches in and gets the thing, and I'm looking down. Okay. I grab it, and then I look up. He hits me like this.
Straight now.
Okay. Straight down. Breaks my nose. So I automatically grab my nose. The staff sees it, and he comes to grab him, restrain him. I was like, "Don't restrain him, just sit him down." So we're sitting down. I'm waiting. Staff's getting me something. I'm holding my nose. I'm bleeding. Wes is sitting in front of me, maybe 3 feet. "Is it wrong to hit Chris Dunham, guy?"
Oh no. That was the first thing he said.
"Yes, Wesley, it's wrong to hit Chris Dunham, guy. You broke my nose." "I broke your nose and stuff I did, Chris Dunham, guy. I broke your nose and stuff I did."
I only have one nose.
So he was bipolar and manic depressive.
Oh no.
So when he get into his high state, he would wave. So Nikki hated it. He would wave. He would just come up to you just like, "I'm doing this. Hi, Chris Dunham, guy.
Like
Hi,
right in
Chris
your
Dunham, guy," and
face?
stuff. "Hi, Chris Dunham, guy. Yeah, hi, Chris Dunham, guy. Hey, Chris Dunham, guy, you like me? Do you like me?" Now, the coolest thing about him, right, among other things, I got so tight with him I took him home to Eugene, Oregon twice. We flew on a plane. I learned.
Now, keep in mind, ladies and
unfortunate-
gentlemen, this is a guy who has said many times to me, and I'm only going to interrupt you for a second,
Yeah, you're fine.
that you have no empathy, right?
Right. I don't have empathy.
But you were so good at
I have
that.
compassion.
That's where you're
I have
an enigma.
compassion.
You do have a lot of
Right.
compassion. Yes.
I have compassion. So Wes and I got so tight that at one point in time I actually was gonna apply for being his guardian because his mother had passed and his dad was getting up in age, and his dad gave me his full blessing. I didn't end up doing it because of all the red tape that was involved in it. But I took him to Eugene, Oregon twice on a plane. Now I had realized in my time with him, because this
For
was
what
probably
reason?
5-6 years, to visit his mom. She was still with us. I had realized after about 5 years with him that he loved music. And the reason he loved music is he was institutionalized as soon as they realized that he was messed up back then. I think he was born in 48. You go institution. It's one flew
for
over the cuckoo's
sure.
nest institution. There's
Absolutely.
no staying at home.
They
you become
called
a
you
ward
a
of the state.
mongoloid idiot
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
You think that
Because-
calling him mentally handicapped was bad? You
Right.
were literally in his day. You were literally a mongoloid idiot.
Yeah.
They disowned you from the family, and like you said, you went to a place.
yeah,
It
you
was
went to a
awful.
place. That was it. But because of that, music was so ingrained into him that I could turn on the radio, any station in the group home, and I mean any station, and he would sing. He knew every song that it was ever played. And back then, when you played Cool FM, it was the songs
So
from
he had like a photographic memory.
Oh
for
my
music?
God! Oh yeah, the stuff on Cool FM back then was from the 40s and the 50s.
Sure.
The 60s was on KSLX,
Yep.
right? So it was anything from the 40s up, he knew. So the airport, I'm like, okay, you don't know he's special until he talks. If you looked at him walking down the street with me, red hair, very well kept, beard trimmed because I made sure once a month
Really,
we go
he
get his
had
beard.
no
Yeah.
outward
No.
characteristics of
Nope.
being
Nope.
handicapped.
Nope. I took him to Joe's Barbershop in Mesa once a month, got his hair cut, got his beard trimmed up like so we were so tight that his barber man at Joe's Barbershop thought he was my brother.
That's awesome.
Like probably the 6th or 7th time I was there, he was doing something. I was like, sorry, man. He's like, it's all good, man. I love your brother. You come here all the time. Like, okay. I didn't even go there. I just let it go because, I just let it go. So the airplane in the airport, I'm like, how am I going to deal with this? Because stressors and environment.
That's a
Walkman.
lot of people.
Walkman. Okay.
Sure.
I learned that he liked Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
The problem, we're on the airplane. Picture this.
Yeah.
I get to go on early because of
They're out
the
to get me.
circumstances,
They're
right?
out
I
to
get to go on.
fucking
I
get
get to. I get to go on early because of circumstances, right? You couldn't tell, but I still got to go on early because of the circumstances. It was clearly noted on his ticket that
Sure.
I'm responsible. This is who he is. I have to get on the plane first and off the plane last. Period. So we're like not first class, but we're like the second, third row in the plane behind first class. So we go. We're sitting in first class.
Oh no.
People start loading up the plane and we're just chilling, hanging. I had all kinds of stuff. Like a 7-year-old, you have to have stuff for a 7-year-old on a plane. So I have all the things. I can see his leg starts going. So I'm like, bust out the Walkman, put the cords in his ears, hit play. Guns N' Roses greatest hits. Okay. He doesn't start singing until knocking on heaven's door comes on.
Oh no.
He is doing what normal people do back in the day when weren't used to wearing AirPods. You sing loud
3
enough.
times as loud to hear
So
yourself
he's-
through the music.
Right.
Yes.
So the plane is pretty much boarded now, and knocking on heaven's door comes on, and he's singing and laughing because he has memory of this song because of his institutionalized life. So he's singing as loud as he probably can while laughing, and he has a laugh that was kind of it was infectious, but you knew there was something not right with this guy. The stewardess comes to me and she's like, "I need you to get him to calm down." I'm like, I can't. If I
You
turn
don't
this off,
understand.
she knew. No, she knew because
Oh,
when I walked
okay.
on the plane, they understood.
Sure.
I had to tell them. I had to tell them what was up because I had the behaviors and stuff. I'm like, I can't. I said, I can't take them off. I was like, you don't want me to take those off. Trust me. It's got to stay on. And he's just let him do his thing. I turned the volume down a little bit and I'm like, dude, you got to bring it down a notch. And then, of course, he starts his repetitive speech because it's a stressor. Don't sing as loud, Chris Dunham stuff. Don't sing as loud. I'm like, yes, Wesley, don't sing as loud, man. Just kind of bring it down a little bit. But aside from that, nobody would have known that he was different. No one. So he got through knocking on heaven's door. He didn't know the next song, and he stopped singing. And then when that side, I flipped the tape over, and then I had, I don't know, 6 or 7 different cassette tapes with me for the whole thing. But yeah, music, man, it didn't matter. Music, any song that came on the radio, he would know. And if he was having a bad day or something, I'd just turn on the radio and like Mamas and Papas would come on, or Jeremiah's a Bullfrog, and then he would just start singing and just thought it was the greatest thing in the world and start laughing because he associated something with that song. And that goes back to what we've talked about so many times. Music is a soundtrack of our life. And with him, to get him in and out of an airplane and in and out of an airport without a behavior is music.
Well, to me, when I hear stories like that, I keep cataloging all this stuff in my brain. It
Yeah.
tells me that I'm on the right track when I just feel like the whole universe, it's a fact, the whole universe is humming at different frequencies, right? We can only
Absolutely.
hear a very small percentage of those frequencies.
Yep.
When you have somebody like that is inconsolable until they hear music, that just proves everything that science knows and doesn't know
Right.
about the power of that frequency, the vibration, the energy, right? There's so much more to all this than we understand because we can't see most of it and we can't hear most of it.
Right.
But those people are tapping into something that we will, I think you just said it earlier, like that was a relationship you will never have with anyone else because you couldn't have a relationship like
No.
that with it. He was special in his own
Yeah.
way, right? He's
Yeah.
living
Oh, yeah.
he's living in his own dimension almost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he was one of those people that staff loved or hate him. It's kind of like me. Nikki says all the time, you either love Chris or hate Chris. There's no gray. And I think that's why we bonded because there was no gray with him. It was a love or hate thing. You could either deal with his idiosyncrasies or you couldn't stand him.
That's one thing that you had in common with Scott. He was the same way.
Yeah.
He rubbed
Love or
people
hate.
the wrong way
Right.
and they hated him, or
Yep.
you saw what we saw and there was a good side to him. It
Yep.
just you had to make him vulnerable, and that was harder. It's harder. Like I'm way more outwardly vulnerable of my feelings, I think, than anybody. Rick was probably the most.
Yeah. Yeah. The other fun thing about him, excuse me, anytime we went anywhere, he had to go to the bathroom.
Well,
He
Kim and
didn't
I
have
that
to
in
go to the,
common.
but no, he didn't have to go to the bathroom.
Oh.
He just had to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
And he would, and I had to go with him. And because he had one of his negative things, he would smear shit.
oh,
He would just, there
we
was
don't have that in
times.
common. That's
Nope. He would.
Gross.
We had 24-hour staff, and once he understood I was a consistent figure in his life, that behavior kind of just subsided. But up to the point when I started working there, because I started in the day program, then I ended up moving into the group home after the first year because I was like, I'd rather do the group home stuff. But yeah, you'd have staff would overnight they'd hear Wesley in his room painting the walls.
oh,
But it was, some weird side effect of his stuff, but it is what it is,
yeah. That's
So
That's not good.
No, it's not, but, So, changing topic now. Did you know in 1939, Stalin sent 500,000 troops into Finland? Expecting the tiny nation to fall in 12 days. Instead, they met Simo Haya, a quiet farmer standing just 5 feet tall. Armed with an old iron-sighted rifle with no telescopic lens, he moved like a ghost through the frozen forest, assassinating 505 confirmed kills in 98 days and earning the terrified Soviet nickname the White Death. That's fantastic.
For
505
3
kills.
months, all
Yeah.
that guy did is pick off Russian soldiers.
That's
every day.
amazing, man. That's amazing.
I read that, and I actually read it twice because I was unsure if it was a true story the first time, and then when it said that they were confirmed kills, I just started laughing. I'm like, here's this little Polish dude out in the middle of beautiful farmland for 3 months and 8 days. All he did is shoot Russian soldiers.
That's crazy.
And they're like, how in the fuck? Where
Yeah.
where is this guy? Yeah.
That's crazy. This one's cool. The $62.5 trillion per gram antimatter is the most expensive material known to humankind. So here's a question. If you steal the antimatter, is there a black market for that?
Can you smoke it?
I don't know, but you know, is there a black market for that? Because I could envision somebody stealing that. Morbid knowledge, love this. I think I heard this one. In 2021, Tyson Gilbert cut off his penis and threw it out the window of his car as he was being chased by police. He allegedly claimed that voices on the radio told him to do so he would save the world.
He might have been doing some PCP
Wow.
or some.
Wild. He had to be doing something, because how do you cut off your own penis while driving down the road? Now, and especially if it was a stick shift, that's impressive.
Just sheer talent alone.
That is impressive. Oh my gosh.
Your
So,
skills
were-
could have been better served elsewhere.
Oh,
Sir.
oh yeah. I mean, imagine I doubt it was a clean cut. I just doubt it was a
Can't
clean
imagine
cut.
how bad that would hurt, dude.
I don't either, man. I don't either.
Because
That's
I'm
just-
sure he didn't have like a surgical scalpel with him,
No, there's no way you have a scalpel for that, man.
and that would be bad enough.
That would be bad enough for sure. So we have finished the series Lost.
Spoiler alert: the series is like 20 years old, so we're gonna, yeah, carry on.
Yeah. Oh, I got to respond to this.
If you have not seen Lost and you don't want to know anything, you can stop right here.
Yeah. So the we didn't watch the uncut ending because on the Netflix or Hulu there's an uncut version of
I've
it.
never
We didn't watch
seen that either.
We
So
didn't watch that.
we've all seen the same thing.
Right. So I so the way I thought the ending was, I liked the idea of them finding their hero type thing. And just like if you haven't seen it, it's hard to explain it. But you know, when they were reconnecting with the people from the island,
Right.
I dug that. I thought that was cool because it was a way that was like their heaven or something. You know, I looked at it as like, okay, this is their heaven. This is
Yeah,
this
you know
is-
they realize they're all dead, right?
I swear I didn't. So later into it, I did, because I had cheated and looked at something and it.
So
and
back
I
in
s-
the day, people described that show as
Yeah.
the best show that's ever been written with the stupidest fucking ending ever.
I agree with that, because
I do
the
too.
ending was like, here's the church. You all built it so you could reconnect. Like, really?
I remember I hadn't even seen it yet, and I remember the backlash in the media of how pissed off people were at the ending of that show, which is what made me watch it later on. I had a good friend who had seen it, you know, week by week
Yeah.
and it's like, dude, you got to watch it. You can watch it. It was on Hulu at the time, I think. You know,
Yeah.
so I got to watch it all like you guys just did, one right after the other.
Yeah.
And I had to agree with everybody's sentiment. It quite possibly might be the best show ever in the history of the world, with the dumbest fucking ending ever.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
so
I just-
disappointed.
Yeah, I liked how they were making it out to be like the heaven part of it, right? And then it was weird. Like we're all in a church now.
That's a good word. It was extremely weird.
Yeah, it's like they could have did so much more with that.
As cohesive as that show was, now that you've seen it all, it
Right.
makes total sense when I say this. It was so well put together where there were things
Oh,
you didn't know until way later on. And then it seems like it would be like Jackson Pollock painting his best painting ever and then throwing a big black streak right in the middle of it, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Just laziness. Here's my
yeah,
finish. Here's my big finish. Well, you
yeah,
ruined the whole middle of the painting, Dick.
yeah. You did. It didn't make sense to me. It.
I'm glad to hear you say that because I thought you might have a. I didn't know what kind of take I guess you would have, and I was curious. I shouldn't
See,
say
I
that.
right. I during the I think fifth season, I googled it, and the Last Supper picture came up with John Locke being the Jesus. So I kind of from that standpoint, I thought okay, because crashed the plane, he can walk now. The energy of the island, he's the Jesus. Like he's the Jesus. He's the one that everybody sees as the Jesus because he came back to life. So I kind of thought, well, maybe they're dead, but because of the dynamic of the show, I'm like, okay, well, this isn't, this
We had
isn't
the same thought at the same
yeah.
point.
Like, is this purgatory? Is it hell?
I had
Because if
those
it's
thoughts
hell,
as well.
right? Because if it's hell, you wouldn't have food; you'd be suffering, right? You're not suffering, so lean more towards the purgatory. And if you don't know what purgatory is, Catholics believe in purgatory. You're not going to hell because Catholics have confession, and so as long
You're
as you
in
don't
limbo.
intentionally, right? So as long as you don't intentionally wake up the day and say, "I'm going to go kill that guy because my boss Tony over there tells me I go whack this dude for not giving us the numbers right." I didn't wake up that day to go kill the dude. Like was ordered to do the dude because I'm a soldier for the mafia, and I had to go take care of business. But then tomorrow I can go to confession, and that's absolved. You know. So because of that, I'm going to go to purgatory. For all of my sins, I go to purgatory, and I hang out in purgatory for however long that is. Now, obviously, this is all assumption because nobody just died like
No,
for
but
a
when
year
you,
and come
I
back.
love when people say this shit out loud
Yeah,
because
yeah. Yeah. Nikki and I are going through the thing. We're blessing our marriage in the church. According to the Catholics, we've not been married for 30 years, it's a hell of a ride for sinning for sure. I keep telling her that. I'm like, what a better way to sin for 30 years, man. And for me,
I'm all
according to the Catholic religion, I get baptized. So like everything's washed away that
Oh,
day.
yeah,
Like I
instantly.
start brand new. Nikki's got to go to confession.
I
So
just had
we
this
kind of
conversation today.
okay, cool. So we decided we'll go to confession together. I'm like, we got to go out of state because I'm not going to confession where we go to church because we don't need fathers knowing all our stuff, which is kind of funny. But this stuff I'm learning, and it's fascinating because I grew up in a Christian type of religion. I was born Methodist into a Catholic church and was supposedly emergency baptized as a Catholic, but nobody can find record of that. The Methodists didn't keep record, but it stands to reason because I was in a Catholic church. And because I was stuck automatically into an incubator for 2.5 months early, I was going to die. So they baptized me. The story goes, because I thought I was going to die. So, but there's no record of that. So the Catholic stuff I'm learning is it's purgatory. It's not heaven. It's not hell. It's purgatory. You spend X amount of time in purgatory
True.
for whatever you've done in this world that has been negative. So I'm trying to get all the stuff out of the way between now and April 2nd, because then it starts fresh, So that's Catholic. So Christianity, it's heaven or hell. There's no difference. But you and I have had the conversation before that religion's made up. It's a man-made thing because you have to inject fear in somebody. The Bible itself has been written so many times, rewritten so many times, different
The guy's
versions.
sitting on the throne dressed like a wizard, wearing a
Right.
fucking hat.
Right.
How
And
much
then
more
Mel Gibson,
ridiculous and crazy could you get?
right? Mel Gibson just came out with a thing because Mel Gibson's super Roman Catholic, and he just came out with something. They discovered an
I
actual.
thought he was Jewish.
No, Mel Gibson's a fucking diehard Roman Catholic.
That was a joke. Dude.
Was there a joke? I'm sorry, I missed
He
that.
hates the Jews. He got
Oh,
in trouble
that's
for-
right.
that was
That's
a that was a
So I'm learning more and more about him because he's very opinionated. Like the shit that's going on in Hollywood with the pedophiles, like he was calling that shit out when they came over here after Mad Max was filmed and he broke into the American Filming Institute stuff. Like I was like, holy shit, watch his stuff when you find him online. But they found an actual image of what was believed to be Christ. And I hate to break it to you, boys and girls, Jesus wasn't white. Everybody thinks Jesus was white. He's all portrayed as a white man. He's like, I don't know what Indian, some type of Indian, not
He
Yaktahey
would be
Indian, but
Middle Eastern.
Right, the Middle
He would be
Eastern
brown.
type Indian.
Yes.
Right, exactly. So anybody who thinks that Jesus was white or black, I'm sorry, he Middle Eastern
All
because
of
that's where he
humanity-
was born. Yeah,
I have even worse news. All of humanity
Okay.
started out as brown people because we all come
Right.
from Africa.
right.
White people came about because they started moving north and there's not as much
Mm-hmm.
sun for us people who live
Right.
where there's winter, right?
Right.
That's where white people came from. But
Mm,
scientists, whether you want to believe it or not, you can believe in your fairy tale little world where there's always been white people, but there have not always been white people. I've been having this
Right.
conversation a lot lately too, because it seems like all of the sudden we're separating ourselves again. And it's very important for people to know, like you said, A, there is no way on God's green earth, for lack of a better term, that
Right.
Jesus was a white man. So
Right.
that picture that you have in your bedroom or your home where he has long flowing hair and he's clearly a white guy with a beard,
Yep.
that was made up by somebody in America
Mm-hmm.
to sell a lot of pictures of Jesus.
Yeah. That and the fact that the Bible's been rewritten so many times. And I'm not discounting the Bible, don't freak out on me. But when we're in this OCIA class,
I am.
we get Bibles. We get Bibles in the Catechism Bible. Okay. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. The version we have, they took begotten out. I read that. I looked at Nikki. I'm like, you can't take begotten out, man.
The Bible
Like, you
was
cannot-
created by 10 canonized priests
Right.
1,000 years after Jesus
Right.
was born,
Right.
crucified,
Yeah.
gone. He'd been
Yeah.
gone for 1,000 years.
Yes.
And then the Bible that we know and
Facts.
love is the one you're reading today.
Facts.
So-
But depending on the version.
And that's 100% true. And that's why, in my mind, literally, when this conversation comes up, if people want to know why I'm so hardcore about my feelings when it comes to religion, just Chris talking about the little bit of what he's going through branched us down all these roads, and my mind goes down so many other roads that all of a sudden this is what I hear in my brain.
Right. Right. And yeah.
None of it makes sense.
No.
Because here's the conversation that I had today. We
Okay.
were talking about religion, and I was talking about it with somebody who can have the conversation like you and I are having now. I'm
Yep.
not going to judge you. You're not going to judge me. We're trying
Right.
to figure out life together, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she simply said, I have faith and it makes me feel better, right? And I was quick to say, I'm not trying to change your mind. I am
Right.
literally trying to get you to see how I came from your side of the fence to my side of the fence, right?
Yep.
My brain, and I probably should, if you want to say that that was detrimental to become a musician, I firmly believe that becoming a musician made me a more analytical person to where I had to figure shit out, right?
It did. Yep.
So it just doesn't make sense to me that a guy could kill 17 people and on his
Right.
deathbed could claim Jesus as his Lord and Savior and he
Yep.
goes to heaven.
Yep.
And number two guy lived his whole life, built a business, was
Yep.
an atheist, gave millions of dollars of charity, took 60,000 a year for himself, just gave
Yep.
all the rest of his money away, put kids through school,
Sure.
built a hospital.
Yeah.
That guy's going to hell
Right.
because he doesn't believe in Jesus. And that person
Right.
that I was talking to, you could see instantly was like, no, I don't believe that. And I was like, yes,
But
you do.
Right. Because the
You
whole
can't have it
right.
both
Thank
ways.
you. It's the rule of Christianity is accept, believe, commit. You got to accept Jesus died for your sins on the cross. You got to believe that, and you got to commit your life to Him. Whatever that looks like, you have to commit your life to being a Christ-like individual. Those three
Otherwise,
things.
you're what do they call that?
You're
where
you're a pagan. You're a heathen.
no, there's a term in Catholicism where they're like,
I'm not there yet.
okay, they're just like a Sunday Catholic or something. You know,
Oh
one-
yeah. Sunday Catholic, lukewarm.
Lukewarm, that's
more
it.
lukewarm is the Christian side of that. You're lukewarm.
yeah.
And what's funny too is the judges are typically hardcore Christians, judge you more than anybody else will,
1,000,000%.
which is just, because they're so, and we've talked about it before. Some people need direction. They need to be told how to believe and how to pray and how to tithe and do these things to get to heaven.
And I
Ozzy
firmly
said
believe
that,
that the person that I was talking to, not to interrupt you, but it's important for
No, you're
me
good.
if they're listening to this because they listen
Yeah.
to it a lot. It's
Yeah.
important
Hi.
for me to have them understand that their point was, this is how I believed as a little girl, and this is how I believe today, right?
Right. You
I
little girl or little
support
boy.
that. I support that so much,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because of what you just said, that makes you a better person every day.
Right.
The guilt that comes along with the stress of living that life, because now I have to live it to a T, right? I was
Right.
like that from a little kid.
Yeah.
They told me, here's what you're going to believe. And that was the other part of the problem, is I wanted to make my own decisions later on, right?
Right.
But at that time, it was like, okay, here's what we believe. And man, there's a lot of stress that comes along with this, because you have sin, and I can and can't say and do certain things. And
So I'm going to find this thing, which is fascinating. I think this is it. Hold on. Oh, come on.
yeah,
No, that's not. Hold on.
to quote Jimmy from South Park, come on.
Well, no, because Ricky Gervais, love him or hate him.
His last comedy special on Netflix was hilarious.
I didn't like it. It wasn't my favorite one.
No,
No.
I don't think it was my favorite one, but I thought it was good.
Okay, so check this out. And this is a short thing, so we shouldn't get in trouble for it.
Me too.
There you go.
I just
Right?
leave it at agnostic. I leave
Right.
myself open to the possibility. And here's why.
Yep.
The conversation that you and I are having right now, and this happens to Chris and I since we started this podcast more than we even admit on the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've literally just had this conversation at work today, and 52 minutes into this podcast, we jumped right down that road.
Right.
We didn't talk about this before we came on the air.
Dozer, stop. My dog's gonna bark at a guy walking by my window.
I see the guy walking by your window, and had you not said that, I would have warned you that somebody
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
potentially ruining our show here.
Yep.
That's the synchronicity of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So my point is, I think it's equally as stupid. And in the conversation I had with my friend, I said this. I think it's
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
equally as stupid to be an atheist,
Right.
because now
Well,
you're
yeah.
saying that there's no possibility that
Right.
there's any order to the universe
Right.
that could have been created by intelligent design.
Right. Exactly.
You don't know that. And
No,
the
and
way
I
that
The
way
Go
that
ahead,
I
go ahead.
end these arguments with people who get hostile with me, and you know how I'm good at diffusing situations, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The way I diffuse that situation, if somebody gets a little too aggressive, is simply to say, you don't know what happens when we die, and neither do I.
Right.
And we both should be super thankful for that today, right?
Yep.
You can't say, I know for sure about anything. That's why
No.
the word faith comes about.
Right.
And to me, it's hard for you to say that because you're a Christian. And here's where people get really weird.
Right.
Well, we do Christianity in America, and over there in China, that's where they do the Buddhist thing. And, that's the same. They're really the same. They just don't know it. Those are my favorite people, right? No, they do Buddhism things, and they don't care anything about Christianity. And I'm sure they're hyper aware of it in 2026.
And see, and the thing too, at the end of the day, according to, we're all descendants from Adam and Eve, right? If
Correct.
you believe in that, Adam and Eve started it. We are all under that tree. If you believe in God, we're all under that tree, which means every single person, regardless of race, color, religion, and creed, they were all made in the eyes of the Father, because that's the whole the what is it?
Father,
Name of
Son,
the
and
Father,
Holy
Son, and
Spirit.
Holy Spirit. It's all one. Which the more I've gone down this Catholic path, the more
Trinity.
I'm seeing the brilliance of Scott Stapp, because there's two different creeds in the Catholicism religion. I don't know them off the top of my head because
The
I'm still
Apostles'
learning that
Creed
stuff.
is one of them.
Right. But the brilliance of Scott Stapp, of how I guarantee he picked the name of the band, because all the songs that were written, he wrote lyrically, at least
Sure.
for the most part. I'm sure Tremonti had a hand in some of it, but I think the foundation of Creed's music was Scott and his upbringing in the evangelical
100%.
whack-a-mole. Like when I remember when they were huge, his
He was
dad
the
was
tent
on.
revival guy.
Yeah, because his
Yeah.
dad had that fucking big old cross dangling down his
Oh
neck.
yeah, those
like
guys
it
are
wasn't
fucked.
this, it wasn't this little tiny thing like this little
No,
logo.
you
It
get
was
into
like-
the snake charming with them people and shit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they speak in tongues and yeah.
Oh, just yeah. So yeah. So reason that I'm identifying and agreeing with you on a level here, because when I went through my entire thing growing up, and then I kind of stepped away from the whole idea of an organized religion, I went agnostic. So people got to understand how you explained it. Atheism, you don't believe in anything, but in a sense, you believe in something because you're believing in nothing.
Yes.
Agnostic, you just don't believe in one God. You don't believe in organized religion. You believe in something, but what you believe
the
in,
potential for something to
Right.
be there is yes.
right? That's agnostic. It's like Ricky Gervais said: "There's 3,000 gods. I'm believing in one less than you are." But it's not that you're not so shut down and closed off. You don't believe in nothing. Agnostic is I just don't believe in. I looked at it as at the time when I chose that path, I didn't believe in organized religion. I didn't believe in being forced to be told how to live, pray, eat, and sleep. I'm sorry. It's not tangible. When I was a kid, I remember growing up how I grew up with the evil monster in the other room. I would pray like you wouldn't believe. I would pray. And I would ask, like legit, I had this stupid little chair, man, that was like from the 1970s. And I remember this. I'm getting chills as I tell you this, but I remember praying and just asking Jesus to come, just sit on that chair. So when she comes in the room, you can protect me. Guess what? He never sat on that chair. He never protected me. So for you trying to tell me that you have to believe in a God that won't protect a child who's vulnerable and weak and is about to get his ass kicked and thrown out, fuck you.
But that Christian
just
sitting
fuck
next
you.
to you right now is going to say,
Right.
"But you're still here talking to us, Chris Dunn, the Lord looked over you the whole
Right.
way. You
Right.
just didn't." Right?
Right. But still, that's
Did
the
that
thing
help
that,
you at that moment in time?
no, because it was bullshit to me, because I was so focused on I needed something. And because I was forced to go to church as a child so she could fuck the dude that she was fucking, who was married the entire time. That's why she was always late to pick us up from church, which was why I stopped going to church, because I was the last kid sitting in the parking lot. There's all kinds of trash there. There's all kinds of baggage, man.
So awful.
But it's the thing that oh, my mother was a fucking whore, dude. I'll be the first one to, yep. You don't like that? I'm sorry.
I
Truth
know, but
hurts
just
people.
that story right there, you have no idea
Right.
what you just said, and just like
Oh, I do.
I know,
Yeah.
I know you.
Yeah.
do,
Oh, I
but
know. I know.
that just blew me off my chair. Like
Yeah.
poor kid sitting in the parking lot at church, no
Yeah.
less.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Well, as long
because
as
she
I'm
was
fucking somebody
yeah,
else.
because yeah, why fucking a married man for like 20 some odd years. The greatest thing about my grandmother when she got Alzheimer's, and you have to look at the positives. Man, she let that shit fly.
Well, there's where
There-
the Christian's gonna say that's where you
there-
ended up. That your
There
grandmother-
was, I know, but there was no holding back. My grandmother was the salt of the earth, man. She was old school. She just
That's
let
where
that
I
shit
learned
fly.
everything I needed to know about life and
And what
I'm gonna
made-
try
what-
and say
right.
this. I don't want to get
Okay.
you in trouble.
Okay.
That's where I learned all about life and dynamics of
Yes.
people. Yes.
The most ironic part of that, the person that she was sleeping with, eventually married the guy after he left his wife 30 years later, was not Caucasian. My grandmother, Midwest, old school. Boy, did now my grandmother didn't have a racist bone in her body as far as I knew. And as far as I was around her as a child and growing into my adult years. But somewhere deep rooted, she had some serious hate for what my mother did and how she did it, for the amount of years she did it. And my grandmother let her know that every time she would come visit, because when you have Alzheimer's, you remember things and you don't. I would go visit my grandmother. I'd walk in the room. Who are you? Christopher. Oh, Christopher. Oh, what do you do? Realtor. Oh, that's perfect. You should do that. You gifted gab when you were 5 years old or whatever. You got in trouble and I was scolding you. And by the time you got done explaining why you did what you did and how it was right that you did it, I was just so tired and said, oh, whatever. We'd have a conversation. She'd look away. This is the sad part of Alzheimer's. She'd look away.
Oh, yeah.
Look back at me. Well, who are you? Christopher. Oh, Christopher. Same path. 20 times in an hour. The sad part of Alzheimer's. But there would be moments where we would have fantastic conversations about who she was and whatever we talked about. But the dark side of Alzheimer's is you pull that shit out that you never would have said because you were the type of person you were. But now Alzheimer's gives you no filter. Nikki's afraid if I get Alzheimer's and I don't have a filter, she's like, your dad can't live with me if he gets Alzheimer's. We're gonna have to put him in a home.
There's a lot of truth in that statement.
You know, right? But it was for us because the violence and the betrayal and the anger and the pain when we heard stories, because I heard them secondhand. My aunt would tell me, my cousin would tell me, man, she would just shred her. It's like, to be a fly on the wall.
I just thought about that, man. Fuck, I barely have a filter now.
You know,
It'd be ugly.
but yeah, but it's you know.
Well, you know, the story you told about being a little boy and sitting there it's a very harsh thing that I say, and I try not to say it a lot, but I really feel like it's true. If you still are a Christian, he is the most absentee father in the history of the universe.
Oh, amen.
Why would
Ironically.
why would we have a St. Jude's commercial every half hour on my television for these poor kids that have cancer? You know, there's a lot of things that you just can't explain, and it all goes back to, I think that there's some kind of order. I just think there's so much more about what's going on around us that we don't see or hear. You know. Yeah,
because one. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when you and I were growing up, they thought there was, 4 dimensions or whatever. Now they know there's 12 or 23 or whatever. It's like we keep evolving and learning about the landscape around us.
Right. The other thing too, like when growing up in the Christian church, you know, everybody's, rapture, revelation, Jesus is coming back. Well, the only time Jesus has come back is when every human on the planet has an opportunity to decide yes or no. That's why you have missionaries. That's why missionaries began, because they have to get the word. They got to spread the word to every single person living.
Good luck getting to that island over there by India where those people just kill you when you get within 50 yards of the shore.
Where I'm going with this, though, is you have to be of age to be able to make that conscious decision. Belief or no belief, yes or no, right? That poses the question that you just touched on with children. If the child cannot make a determination between what's faith and what's not faith, do I believe or don't believe, they have to be able, in their mind, subconsciously make a decision. Yes, I believe in Jesus. No, I don't believe in Jesus, which has got to be, I don't know, 7, 8 years old. I think little man's 6. I think he could maybe, but he still wouldn't fully understand, right? The magnitude of that
I didn't understand at 13.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. You have to be able to
think like that now.
Right. So the person has to be consciously able to make the decision. Yes, I believe. No, I don't believe. So that's
based on what we said earlier, 25 should be minimum, right? That's your fully formed frontal cortex.
So anybody under 25, why would they get cancer and suffer and pain and die and all that kind of shit if they don't have the mindset to make that conscious decision?
To quote the church lady, could it be
Satan?
Come on, you gotta give me that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, all right.
You know, the Pope denounced hell.
Oh
Not
yeah,
that long ago. What, 10
yeah.
years ago,
Because
maybe?
because he wants purgatory, man. It's purgatory. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Nikki's getting home. I hear her
We
open the
made
garage
people
door.
think.
We did make people think. I gotta pee. You gotta eat. And
I'm starving.
remember, boys and girls, if this episode made you feel suicidal or depressed, it's not our fault. You have something that's off. So go run, go journal, go scream in a pillow, go work out, go do something that's going to change your mindset. Suicide's not the option. Too many people have done that, been there, and it just affects the life. You'll leave a hole in somebody's heart.
Don't listen
Don't
to
do
us,
that.
but listen to us.
No. Yeah. Text 988. Somebody's there to help you talk off that ledge and get your mind right so you wake up tomorrow and it's a better day, because tomorrow is always a better day with you in it. For the Chris and Mike Show, I'm Chris. He's Mike. Nothing but love, brother. Great
Love you
topic
too,
today. Great
man.
conversation. Love
And
it.
I think it's important for people to understand. We just had a conversation about religion, and nobody got heated. So you can do
Exactly. Nobody got heated. Nobody.
it. Have a great
Life's-
rest of your evening, my